Hello everyone, I am Crawlers and I know what you're gonna say before I even start this video. Not another anti-Battlefield 4 commentary trashing the netcode issues. I mean, we all know the game is broken, and so just leave it at that. How low do you have to go to beat this dead horse time and time again and just to make a few cents on your YouTube video? And why do you spam the viewers with this recycled non-content, is what you would say. And I'm just guessing here. But, as soon as I read this article, which admittedly isn't new, it's a couple of months old, and later seen the Broken Field premiere episode of Battlefield Friends, I knew I had to say something. But before I do send any caca the way of Battlefield 4, I will say that it is still a game that is pretty much above whatever FPS we had before. I mean, whatever you say about Battlefield 4 right now, it's horrible, it lags, it glitches, it's broken. It's still an incredible multiplayer experience. I mean, where else are you going to see this kind of team play, if there is actual team play on your team? This kind of connection to your teammates. Multi-seat vehicles with gunners and drivers, and generally just a team that you can connect with to feel that you are accomplishing something together. Or even put a mortar into an elevator and just wait for some Bambis to pile in, if you're into that. I mean, I do not presume DICE is made up of stupid people. I'm sure they're smart as shit if they came up with such a complicated game and an upgraded engine for it. Hell, you don't see Call for Money Recycled Warfare doing that. And as I said, I just saw an article on Rant, ironically, where the EA CFO, he says that everything is fine in the Battlefield franchise, and it wasn't hurt by the buckets of problems that Battlefield 4 had and still has. Of course, some people still say that Battlefield 4 is just Battlefield 3.5, or even the same as Battlefield 2, or even 3, just, looks nicer. And, well, I mean, what else were they expecting? It's a modern day shooter, so just how futuristic or how weird and different did they expect it to be? Did people expect, the sky to shoot lasers as ordered by the commander? I mean, if it was that much different from the previous game, then it wouldn't be called Battlefield anymore. It would be called something else, So, Battlefield 4 has been out there for, 6 months now? More? And it still feels quite broken and frankly more like a public beta than an actual finished AAA title. In fact, ironically, the gameplay in the background here right now, I am playing on DICE's closed testing environment for Battlefield 4, and in some way it could be argued, you could say that these people that are doing it with me are doing DICE's job in, quality assurance and frankly beta testing, which should have been done internally months ago, So, but let's get back to my rant here. As I pointed out before, in an interview with GameSpot, Blake Jorgensen acknowledged that Battlefield is an important piece of Electronic Arts' library, perhaps the most important piece. But he has not seen any damage. On the contrary, gamers, according to Jorgensen, have been very responsive, and that's a direct quote, to the regular Battlefield 4 updates and patches, as those seemingly mean to improve the product. Now, not really sure what planet he's on, but that is just not the case, I think. In fact, if anything, that is a complete opposite of reality. People are hating on Battlefield 4, they are uninstalling it, they have been returning it or reselling it. In fact, I've seen a couple of guys actually break their DVDs in a rage because, what they bought is basically $60 worth of garbage. And, of course, we all know the colorful language used by gamers on the battle log, in the battle log post comments whenever DICE posts anything new. And you can probably already guess what the top comment is going to be. But, I mean, what else would Blake Jorgensen say? What was he supposed to say? I mean, think of what you would say. That everything is horrible, that Battlefield 4 is a piece of trash, and that they let down thousands, perhaps tens of thousands of people? Probably not. So instead we get the canned response. Quote, "We haven't seen any damage. Clearly we've been focused on protecting the brand. We've also tried to provide extra content to the consumers to make sure they keep coming back and playing the game, and we're finding it's working very well. I don't see that there's any damage issue. I think for us it's making sure we're providing great gameplay for the consumer, and we'll continue to do that." End quote. So, that's basically doublespeak for EA and DICE trying to keep us busy and distracted with DLCs for Battlefield 4. And in the meanwhile, problems keep piling up with the vanilla game, sometimes only made worse with the release of each DLC and its patch, like happened with the Naval Strike DLC. I mean, this is made that much worse when you consider that earlier this year, EA supposedly stopped DICE from rolling out the new DLCs until the vanilla game problems were solved. And so the DLCs got pushed back, supposedly. So now, imagine the same amount of DLCs and new content has to be released and made workable in a smaller time frame. So now it becomes a game of catch-up, Obviously the vanilla game isn't fixed yet either, so what is DICE to do? Well, now they have their new DICE LA studio, previously Danger Close, that screwed up Medal of Honor Low Fighter so much that got the series cancelled, which now supposedly gets the job of working on the DLC content that DICE just plainly and simply doesn't have time for. I mean, imagine DICE not having fixed Battlefield 4 and not keeping up with the finishing of the new DLCs as the problems pile up, and, also having to work on the next Battlefield game, supposedly coming out in 2016. I mean, it's not a secret that a well-rounded AAA title takes at least 2 years, and most of the time a lot more, to make it work well. But this is now ridiculous, they are playing catch-up and failing badly at it, just because of the scope and the number of the problems that they are piling up on themselves, not to mention the scheduled DLCs. And now, Jorgensen supposedly hints at, in the interview, at an important Battlefield release during EA's 2015 fiscal year, which, well, isn't going to be Battlefield 5 by all accounts, because, that would not leave any time for them to make one. But it could, and this is so far speculation and rumors, of course, but it could mean a Battlefield police-themed spin-off by Visceral Games. This, however true or not, would mean a new and rather depressing turn of events. It would mean that a Battlefield-related title would be an annual release by alternating studios that work on the titles, not unlike Sledgehammer Games and Infinity Ward. And it would mean more content for the sake of content with a probable drop in quality. So EA is thinking like Activision, or indeed Stalin right now, who said quantity has a quality of its own, which I believe is actually paraphrased. He said something like quantity is quality, which is not a good thing in and of itself. So in response to this caca that we are now all enjoying right now, there have been several ideas from people that feel they didn't get their money's worth. So, some people call for a boycott of Battlefield and indeed EA games in the future, which of course won't happen. Others call for a collective refusal to pre-order the next Battlefield title before it comes out, meaning not paying EA until we actually have a chance to look and see at the product release what it is and see if it passes the shit smell test. So, what do you say, people? Do you think Battlefield annual release is a possibility? And if so, will that be a good thing? Also, tell me, do you believe that Battlefield's reputation hasn't been tarnished like the EA's CFO says? I most definitely think that it has taken quite a lot of damage by now, but that's just my opinion. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please rate and share this video as it helps my channel grow. Check out my other videos at the end of this one, and remember, in Soviet Russia, YouTube subscribes you.